Welcome to Tamil Wisdom Daily. Life is a battlefield. Within each of us resides an Arjuna, confused, weary, and unsure of what to do. How do we win this inner war, fought between the clamor of worldly desires and the call of spiritual peace? Through the divine wisdom of Paramahansa Yogananda, verses 15 to 18 of the Bhagavad Gita reveal profound secrets to us. We will explore in detail how to transcend the confusing thoughts, peace-piercing samskaras, and allure of Maya that arise during our daily meditation, and how to attain true divine bliss. This chapter will teach you that renouncing sense attractions is not a loss, but a tremendous divine investment, guiding you on how to progress towards the ultimate state of nirviklpa samadhi. In these verses, the meditating devotee is said to hear specific vibratory sounds, the conchas of the various Pandavas, emanating from the cosmic centers in the spine and medulla. Pranava, the sound of the creative Aum vibration, is the mother of all sounds. Aum's intelligent cosmic energy, emanating from God, is the manifestation of God, the creator and basic substance of all things. This sacred vibration is the link between matter and spirit. Meditating on Om is the way to realize the true spirit power of all creation. By inwardly tracing the sound of Pranava to its source, the yogi's consciousness is elevated to God. In the microcosm of the human body, the Aum vibration operates through the cosmic spinal centers charged with life force, via their creative vibratory components, tattvas, of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Through these, the human body is created, vitalized, and sustained. These vibrations, as they operate, emanate characteristic variations of pranava. The devotee, attuned to these inner cosmic sounds, finds his consciousness gradually ascending to higher states of realization. Patanjali defines these states in his classification of the various stages of interiorized meditation. In Yoga Sutras Ibar 1718, he speaks of two basic types of samadhi. 1. Samprajnata, and 2. Asamprajnata. When applied to advanced states of realization, Samprajnata refers to savikalpa with differences, samadhi, or divine union, in which there are still some distinctions between the knower and the known in the realization of thou and I are one. More or less, some differentiations of nature persist. But in Asamprajnata samadhi, all differentiations of nature disappear into the one spirit. The realization of thou and I are one becomes I am he who has become this little form of I and all forms. This is not an egoist's declaration, I am God. That is the brass crown of ego, but the complete realization of absolute truth. God alone is the only reality. Thus, Asamprajnata, in its fullest definition, is nirviklpa, without differences. Samadhi, the highest yoga or union expressed by fully liberated masters or those on the verge of soul freedom. However, when used to define initial stages of realization, rather than their advanced states of fulfillment, Samprajnata and Asamprajnata are relative terms used to differentiate early superconscious experiences in meditation, Samprajnata, from true samadhi or absorption with the meditative object, Asamprajnata. Samprajnata refers to primary states where the meditative object is exactly or fully known through intuition, which is still somewhat mingled or interpreted by nature's subtle perceptive instruments, the interplay between the knower, the knowing, and the known. Hence it is sometimes called conscious samadhi, Because nature's faculties that operate outwardly in ordinary consciousness, mind, manas, intellect, buddhi, feeling, chitta, ego, ahamkara, are inwardly active in their pure or subtle form. In contrast, asamprajnatata refers to superconscious experiences realized through pure intuition or awareness, the soul's direct perception through being one with the meditative object, without any intervening instrument or principle of nature. Intuition is face-to-face knowledge of reality without any mediator. Patanjali states that the samskara, impression, left by samprajnata samadhi is the effect of asamprajnata. In other words, by repeated effort in deeper and deeper samprajnata meditation, the ultimate result is the superconscious state of asamprajnata samadhi. But to refer to the latter as unconscious samadhi is a misnomer, as a continuation of calling the former conscious. Rather, since samprajnata means exactly or fully known, this concept does not arise in the contrasting asamprajnata, because there is nothing to be known in the unity of the knower and the known. The devotee becomes his object of meditation. Far from a state of unconsciousness, it is a state of supreme awareness and wisdom. Patanjali divides samprajnata samadhi into 4 stages. 1. Savitarka, with doubt or speculation. The intuitive experience is mingled with the reasoning or doubting mind. 2. Savichara, with reason or deliberation. The intuitive experience is mingled with the reason-guided intellect. 3. Sananda, with bliss. The interiorized intuitive experience is interpreted by the chitta or feeling laden with bliss. And 4. Sasmitai, with I-ness or individuality. The intuitive experience is mingled with the pure sense of being. These 4 stages that follow interiorization, pratyahara, are the result of deep concentration, dharana, or superconscious perception limited only to within the body. When these 4 stages of samprajnata dissolve one by one into the next higher stage, the yogi passes beyond them to attain asamprajnata samadhi. This comes in deep meditation, dhyana, in which concentration, dharana, is continuous without any interruption. Then, the meditative object, i.e., a specific concept or manifestation of God, is experienced as appearing not only in the body, but also in omnipresent form. Beyond these stages, in advanced states of realization, samprajnata and asamprajnata are understood as savikalpa and nirviklpa samadhi, respectively. Patanjali states that the highest samadhi can be attained through deep devotional meditation on Ishvara, I-23, whose symbol is Om. The application of all the above to the Gita, verses 15 to 18, is as follows. The significance of the conchas of the 5 sons of Pandu, mentioned in verses 15 and 16, is given first, explained according to spiritual progression of realization, rather than the order in which they are mentioned in the verses. Sahadeva, with his conch, Manipushpaka, giving forth by its sound, denotes the earth tattva in the Muladhara chakra in the coccyx. The devotee concentrating at this center hears the aum or cosmic vibration in a peculiar sound, like the humming of a honey-drinking bee. The devotee questions with doubt whether this sound is a bodily vibration or a cosmic sound. Hence, this concentration state is called Savitarka Samprajnata Samadhi, the doubtful stage of interiorized oneness. This center is the locus of the first stage of the interiorized meditative mind. Nakula, with his conch, Sukshosha, sounding clearly and sweetly, denotes the water tattva manifested at the sacral chakra, Svadhisthana chakra. The devotee concentrating at this center is lifted from a doubting mental state to a definite, more reasoning state. He hears a higher cosmic sound like the beautiful music of a flute. The doubt having vanished, his intellect begins to inquire into the nature of this sound. This state is called savichara samprajnata samadhi, or the intelligent, reason-guided state of interiorized oneness. Arjuna, here referred to as Dhananjaya, winner of riches, with his conch, Devadatta, giving divine bliss, denotes the fire tattva in the lumbar center, Manipura chakra. The devotee concentrating at this center hears a cosmic sound like a harp or lute. The doubting mental state and the reasoning intellectual state having dissolved, he now attains a feeling conscious state of self-realization, in which the clear perception of sound and its true nature produce a bliss-filled feeling of interiorized absorption, or Sananda Samprajnata Samadhi. Bhima, with his conch, Paundra, destroying lower states, denotes the air or life force, prana, tattva, in the dorsal center, Anahata chakra. The devotee concentrating at this center hears Aum, the symbol of God, as a deep, prolonged cosmic gong sound. All mental, intellectual, and feeling states having dissolved, the devotee attains an inner bliss absorption mingled with ego consciousness. This is not body consciousness, but the pure sense of individual being, or I am, consciousness. This state is Sasmita Samprajnata Samadhi. Yudhishthira, with his conch, Anantavijaya, conquering infinity, denotes the ether tattva in the cervical center, Vishuddha chakra of the spine. The devotee concentrating at this center hears Aum, the omnipresent etheric vibration, the cosmic sound that controls eternity, diffusing infinity with a sound like thunder or the roar of a mighty ocean in the distance. In this state, all the previous 4 stages of interiorization, the mental, manas, intellectual, buddhi, feeling, chitta, and ego, ahamkara, have dissolved to produce a profound state of pure intuitive perception of limitless bliss. This state is called asamprajnata samadhi. Although the cognizing instruments of human consciousness have now disappeared, asamprajnata samadhi is not a state of unconsciousness, but a direct knowing through self-realization, the pure intuition of the soul. The devotee's I-ness, or sense of individual being having passed away, his consciousness unites with Aum, the etheric vibration in all space, expanding from the little body to infinity. His blissful awareness embraces omnipresence. Shri Krishna, here referred to as Hrishikesha, master of the senses, then sounds his conch, Panchajanya, which forms the 5 tattvas or elements. This sound is the composite of the various sounds of the 5 lower centers. It is the real or undifferentiated cosmic Aum vibration. This symphony of the 5 sounds of pranava is heard in the integrated medullary and Christ consciousness center, Ajna chakra. Here the devotee experiences a great savikalpa samadhi. He attains the full realization of God in his creative aspect, as the Aum vibration. In the beginning was the Word, the creative vibration, the Holy Ghost, Amen, or Aum. And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. To unite with Aum as God is to elevate the consciousness to the indwelling Christ consciousness. Through Christ consciousness, the advanced yogi ascends to cosmic consciousness in the highest cerebral center. No man cometh unto the Father, cosmic consciousness, but by me, the Son, or through Christ consciousness. These holy Trinity states are symbolized in Hindu scriptures as Aum, Tat, Sat, the Holy Ghost vibration, Kutastha, or Christ consciousness, and God, or cosmic consciousness. If the yogi attains cosmic consciousness in the highest cerebral center, Sahasrara, and is able to enter that state at will and remain in it as long as desired, he will in time be blessed to experience that bliss in the supreme or ultimate undifferentiated state, nirviklpa, samadhi. When the yogi's union with God is experienced in these higher states, where the consciousness is elevated to the medullary, the pure superconsciousness of the soul, the point between the eyebrows, kutastha, or Christ consciousness, and the cerebral, cosmic consciousness centers, he realizes the higher significance of samprajnata and asamprajnata as savikalpa samadhi and nirvikalpa samadhi respectively. In samprajnata savikalpa samadhi, the savitarka experience of God is not doubtful in a negative sense, but a questioning with reverence and wonder. Is this truly the Lord, who has been so quietly and invisibly in the universe? Is it true that he has come to me at last? The Savichara experience is a keen reasoning about God's nature in his many aspects or qualities: cosmic love, bliss, wisdom, and so forth. The Sananda experience senses the indescribable bliss that comes with contact with God in his eternal nature of ever-existing, ever-conscious, ever-new bliss. In the Sasmita state, the devotee feels his expanded self in every atom of the cosmos, as though the whole creation were his own body. This is a state of perfect peace, in which the devotee is like a mirror reflecting all things. When the devotee becomes established in cosmic consciousness, retaining God perception and omnipresent state, even when returning to body consciousness and material activities, he has attained asamprajnata nirvikalpa samadhi. Now in Gita verses 17 and 18, other chief Pandava warriors are mentioned. Their significance the allegory of creation as a cosmic motion picture, amply elaborated in the explanations of the previous verses. These divine Pandavas, following the guidance of Krishna and the 5 sons of Pandu, blow their conches. These are subsidiary nadis or cosmic nerve currents, life force conductors, whose vibratory activities also produce distinctive sounds. All these vibrations during meditation are directed toward God to spiritualize the whole body and mind, and to draw the consciousness inward toward self-realization. To the general public reading these explanations, they may wonder what these are all about. But earnest truth seekers who have practiced the right methods of Raja Yoga meditation, like the devotees who follow Sri Lahiri Mahasaya's path of Kriya Yoga through self-realization fellowship lessons, know through their own experience that these cosmic sounds can be clearly heard. This truth can be verified by anyone who practices the yoga techniques. I cannot give the techniques directly in a book available to the general public, for they are sacred, and certain ancient spiritual injunctions must first be followed to ensure that they are received with devotion and secrecy, and then practiced correctly. Nevertheless, through this manuscript, I have tried to present enough theoretical explanation to satisfy any intellectual layman that yoga is indeed a science, perfectly systematized by the ancient Indian sages. In preparing this commentary on the sacred Bhagavad Gita, my object and prayer have been to awaken new hearts and minds to the physical, mental, and spiritual blessings available through right knowledge and application of yogic science, and to inspire and accelerate the progress of devotees already firmly on the path of yoga. The allegory of creation, a cosmic motion picture. An illustration may help to elucidate the profound subject matter in these Gita verses. A savage, having no contact with modern civilization, seeing a talking motion picture for the first time, might readily believe that the movements are of living men and women. One way to make him realize that the talking picture is merely a play of film and electric vibrations is to take him near the screen, where he can touch the shadowy figures and discover their illusory nature. Another way to make him understand that the talking pictures are a play of lights and shadows is to show him the film reel and the motion picture apparatus, and how the flood of electric light emanating from the opening of the operating booth has the power to project onto the screen a succession of realistic forms in its beam. To a materialist, the whole world, its complexities of solids, liquids, fires, gases, and so forth, appears to be composed of real material substances. This is how I perceive it. Therefore, it must be real. But the advanced yogi, who has penetrated by his self-realization to the inner source of apparent matter, can say, this world, this cosmos, is only shadows of life cast on the screen of space and reflected in the sensitive and subconscious mind chambers. Just as the etheric beam of light issuing from the motion picture booth appears like a blank searchlight without any inherent images, yet mysteriously the images appear on the screen. So God, from his booth in the center of eternity, emanates invisible searchlight beams, a spherical bundle of rays. These pass through the film of nature's interplaying principles of Maya, and produce on the screen of space at their center an infinite variety of outwardly realistic images. But those images are shadowy illusions. The only reality is God and his individual consciousness, in forms that can be seen and contacted in the cosmic play of Maya. The yogi, intently looking into the dark invisible within with closed eyes, finally sees there the 6 subtle cosmic booths: the Muladhara, Svadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, and integrated medullary and Christ centers located in the spine and at the base of the brain and between the eyebrows. He finds that the realistic picture of his body is produced by an earth current in the Muladhara, a water vibration in the Svadhisthana, a fire vibration in the Manipura, an air vibration in the Anahata, an ether vibration in the Vishuddha, and a consciousness and life force vibration in the medullary and Christ centers. Just as an electric beam of light cast on a screen creates at its source a peculiar hum by electric vibration, so the cosmic spinal centers emit various musical sounds. These sounds occur as they send out the various pranic, life force currents that create the realistic seeing, realistic touching, realistic hearing, realistic smelling, and realistic tasting senses of the physical body. By concentrating at the 6 centers, the meditating devotee hears in succession the hum of the bee, the flute, the harp, the gong, the roar of the ocean, and then the symphony of all cosmic sounds. These emanating from the 6 centers are the vibrations of the 5 elements or tattvas in nature as they are macrocosmically and as they operate microcosmically in the human body. The earth life current in the Muladhara is the force responsible for solidifying primordial life force into atoms of flesh and for producing the sense of smell. As it operates, this center emits the sound of a humming bee. The water element in the Svadhisthana center solidifies the atoms of all liquid substances in the body and is responsible for the sense of taste. Its functioning produces the musical sound of a flute. The fire element in the Manipura center maintains the cosmic lifelight and electric heat of the body and produces the sense of sight. With these functions are the beautiful harp-like sounds. The air element in the Anahata center helps to unite the oxygen and life force, or prana, in the body with the body cells, and is responsible for the sense of touch. Its functioning emits the sound of a bell or gong. The ether tattva of the Vishuddha chakra maintains the etheric background in the body and aligns it with all spatial vibrations. The subtle etheric vibration is the screen on which the image of the body and all nature is projected. The Vishuddha center produces the sense of hearing and resonates with the cosmic vibration of the ocean waves. The integrated medullary and Christ center is the dynamo of consciousness, life force, and vibratory elemental matrix. This highest center constantly recharges with life and consciousness all the sub-dynamos of the elemental vibrations of earth, water, fire, air, and ether that maintain the body flesh, blood, and all liquid substances, heat, oxygen and life force, and etheric operations. The spiritual aspirant eager to unravel the mystery of the body understands it only when his attention turns from the body to the 6 inner booths, which emanate the 6 currents responsible for making the body's image. By knowledge of those 6 currents, and by years of meditation, the yogi learns to know the body not as a solid substance, but as a manifestation of vibratory light. Then the yogi rightly comprehends that the basic atomic energy of the body cells comes from life atoms or cosmic energy, which comes from thought atoms or causal, mental energy, and that all these are only different vibratory rates of cosmic consciousness, or different dreams of God's mind. When that perception becomes part of the yogi's own self-realization, he can consciously control all the functions of the bodily instruments and materialize or dematerialize his body at will. The worldly man who stubbornly clings to materiality hears only the noises of the outer world. But in the psychological and metaphysical war between the sense mind and the intellect enslaved by soul, the warring sense and soul forces create various vibrations in the meditating devotee's consciousness in the attempt to win it. Thank you so much for delving into these profound spiritual explanations with us. At Tamil Wisdom Daily, we are committed to continually offering such life-transforming spiritual and philosophical gems. Your support and love are incredibly important to us. If this video has been beneficial to you, please like it and share it with your friends and family. Furthermore, to receive more such rare treasures of wisdom instantly, subscribe to our channel right now, click the bell icon next to it, and continue to support us. Your support is what inspires us to create many more valuable videos. We will meet again in the next video. Thank you.